Welcome back to the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel. Today's episode I have a quick tech tip for how to save your mirror on your classic car, whether it's a Corvette, Camaro, Chevelle, pretty much any GM from the 50s, 60s, or 70s. This quick tech tip will help you guys repair your mirror, get your car back on the road, and make sure you see what's going on behind you, so be sure to stick around. So this week's project, we're going to fix the mirror on my dad's 65 Corvette, which if you haven't seen this car, I'll be doing some more videos on it coming up. But this car has a very common problem that a lot of GM cars from the 50s to the early 70s have. These mirrors have one little pivot ball on them to allow them to swivel, but after driving with them and just them moving around, they loosen up, and well, it doesn't stay in this position, and it kind of stays in this position. But instead of buying a brand new one, because this one is in really nice shape, it's still brand new, we're going to remove the mirror and pull the glass out of it and fix this problem. It's actually a pretty simple solution, but that way we can get this thing so it actually looks proper with the bow tie facing up. Oh, you got full access now. A little paint protection goes a long way.
Just look at the breakaway, I guess. Okay, it's going.
We are using a kitchen scale to measure how much force it takes to rotate the mirror before we take it apart.
Real low down in that area. Okay, it kind of tells you, sends the message, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you see the snap ring gap right here?
Mm-hmm.
Protect the glass. A little bit of tape, like this.
Now, if your glass does glue in, this trick's not going to work, but if it has a snap ring, you should be good to go.
Okay, now tighten it up. You can see the edge of the glass there, so you have to be careful you don't chip it.
Good. Ooh, jumped out. Here's stuff rattling around in there.
Ooh, springs.
So it was spring loaded. Let me take that glass.
Yeah.
So I guess those give the glass tension to push up against the
Snap ring.
I wonder if this was a Paragon reproduction. It's got the PR in it.
There's a little ball in there, you see it?
Yes, sir.
And you notice sometimes the mirror will stay for you pretty good, and other times it's real loose. And I think a lot of that has to do with little powdered metal being in the back there. So what we're going to do, use some fast absorbing solvent here, like this contact cleaner. Just spray it in the back. I'm going to work it around a little bit like that. Back. Important thing is to turn the air on.
No, you don't need that. Whenever the mirror is used, over time it can create some metal shavings inside, so we're cleaning all that out just to make sure we have a nice clean working surface before we tighten up the mirror.
This is actually a piston ring out of a 350 Chevrolet.
Looks like it's exactly what it is. A little bit big of a gap on it. Putting a quick coat of wax on the mirror just to make sure that we don't scratch it while we hold it in the vise while we try to tighten up those rivets. The vise holds it pretty good in this. This is actually like a piece of leather, a leather bag that you'd use for panel beating. But I never actually finished filling it with sand, so it actually is a really good thick piece of leather for holding on to something in the vise. It's good soft jaws. This fix is pretty simple. The mirror itself has two studs that come up that were peened over that retain a piece of spring steel that pushes pressure on the ball, and that's all that gives you pressure on your mirror. That's your resistance. So we just have to tighten those guys up to make sure that the mirror stays put. It looks a lot better. Alright, now that she's all tightened up, put the springs back in. When you're putting the glass in, just keep gentle pressure on it, and then try to get that snap ring in a similar orientation to how it was when you took it off. Just kind of start one side and slowly work it around.
Oh, there's already a big difference.
Comparing the results from the first and second test, it looks like it takes about twice as much force now that the mirror is tightened up, which is what you want. That should hopefully keep it in place while you're driving.
Yeah, it takes more force for sure. There you go.
That looks a lot better. Alright. Well, it should work a lot better now, too. Alright, there you have it. Mirror's back on. This is something that will take you like 15 minutes to do, and it's a nice quick repair. You just got to be careful whenever you're peening over those, basically those rivets in the housing. You don't want to hit them too hard or too much because, well, they're fragile and they can crack, and if you crack them, then they won't hold that little metal strap in place anymore. So you gotta be careful. You can tighten them up a little bit, don't go too crazy. Make sure that this spine of the mirror doesn't contact the mirror whenever you're peening it over. Just be careful with the chrome. But if you have a survivor and you're trying to keep the original mirror, or if you have a perfectly good reproduction like this guy and just needs a little bit of maintenance, hopefully it holds for another, and this mirror is probably 15 years old and it's done pretty good so far. So that's something I know on my dad's 67 Camaro he had when I was a kid. This was the same kind of thing that was going on. But if the glass does glue in and there's no snap ring, well, you probably have to break the glass to remove it, so that's not going to work. So you have to make sure that yours is a snap ring type, and you should be able to do this. So this is a nice quick thing you can do to your car to bring back the aesthetics that it needs. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We have more videos coming out on this 65 Corvette soon. We've never done a video on the story of it, and I've never done a story on my red split window. That one will be coming out first. Between these two cars, that's really what sparked my love affair with Corvettes, specifically the second generation, and what has inspired me to reach the levels that we have today of putting them back together and from some really rough projects. So we have a video coming up on that. I kind of wanted to let the channel grow to a certain point, and my video editing skills got to a certain point, because we have a really cool story to tell on my red split window that you guys aren't going to want to miss. That'll be coming up in the next couple weeks, so make sure you check that out. So next week we'll be getting back on the 67 Roadster and getting the front end on that car and getting that car wrapped up. So like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like these tech tips, let me know. I always like, throwing some new video ideas in here just to change up the pace a little bit. So as you know, I got a lot of work to do, so I'll catch you guys later.